is sideways, and we are racing back in Seattle. It's the 250 main event.
Looks like Kevin Windham. Oh!
Stewart gets the whole shot, and Chad Reed's bike goes shooting off into the berm. He was trying to hold his line, and Stewart would have none of it. Just railed him high, so Chad Reed is in dead last.
And this is definitely a championship situation for the THQ AMA Supercross Championship. If Chad were to finish in 20th, I could be mistaken, but if Ricky finished second, he would win the championship, but not sure. Could be a tie. It's very close there.
We'll do that math later on, but a very unfortunate turn of events for Chad Reed. Number 22, the defending champion, sits in dead last, and James Stewart is way out in front. Ricky Carmichael sits in second, and David Villeman in third. As we take a look one more time at the Butterfinger hole shot replay, this is an amazing turn of events. Here it is from the onboard.
Well, you see Reed, he's on the outside. Wyndham's got the inside line. James Stewart just knocks Chad Reed, gives him a good one. I mean, check this out. Looks like Windham gets into Bubba, Bubba gets into Chad, and Chad gets off the track.
Here it is one more time. Kevin Windham kind of stacks it up, and he looks like he catches the back of 259, James Stewart, and he really had nowhere to go. I don't think it was intentional, but his bike, the momentum carried him right into Chad Reed, and Chad kind of gave a look back like, what's that about? No question in my mind that Chad Reed will not stay in last place. He has already picked off 5 riders. So it is James Stewart, that man, number 259, on board the Kawasaki, riding for Fox and Oakley, and right now riding for the pride of Florida, because he is being trailed by another Floridian in Ricky Carmichael, who sits in second place.
And as we were saying, Ricky really wants to race forward and try to do battle with Bubba or whoever else is in front. And right now he's in a great position to get up there, get in the mix. And Kevin Windham also on the gas right now. He is in this race a little bit farther back than Ricky, but he is still in position with all these ruts and all the strange things that could happen with the way the track is breaking down.
Ricky Carmichael currently sits in second place. Cameron, we're doing quick math up here. If Carmichael would get second and Reed would finish way in the back of the pack, 16, 17, 18, it is possible for Carmichael to clinch the title, but Chad Reed is not going to let that happen. He has now moved up all the way to about 13th place.
And getting past his teammate, Timmy Ferry.
There is Ricky Carmichael. He is currently the points leader. As we take a look at the Butterfinger Crisp Hole Shot Award one more time, it's going to go to James Stewart, but there's the action on the inside. It really was kind of a domino effect, Cameron, as James Stewart picks up the Butterfinger Crisp Hole Shot Award. Almost looked like Kevin Windham got stacked up, and that's what set the chain reaction as Bubba picks up the Butterfinger Crisp Hole Shot Award. There's Ricky Carmichael, number 4, currently sits in first place in the current overall standings, looking to clinch the THQ World Supercross GP title. But your leader right now is James Stewart, and he has got about 100 yards on Ricky Carmichael. Folks, I hate to do it. We got to step aside, pay some bills. When we come back, much more of the 250 main event from Quest Field in Seattle as Chad Reed continues to move up to the field. How far can he move up? It's Stewart, Carmichael, Windham, and Villeman. Folks, welcome back to Quest Field in Seattle, Washington. What started out as a very exciting 250 main event has continued to go that way as Chad Reed has moved into 8th position. While we're away, no major changes. James Stewart continues to lead. Ricky Carmichael continues to sit in second, and Kevin Windham sits in third. But Chad Reed was in dead last after an early incident in the first turn, getting tangled up with James Stewart, knocked clearly, and I mean clearly, off the track, had to remount the bike, start it, and he has now moved up to the field. And you got to be kidding me, Cameron.
And taking a look, there's James Stewart riding flawlessly. Want to give a shout out to Raymond Bailey, suffering from leukemia. He's from up here in the Washington area, Spokane to be exact. Big fan of James Stewart. We wish you well. Looking back for Ricky Carmichael, he's got a bit of a gap back to second place there.
Yeah, no question. He's got some company coming up in Kevin Windham, a guy who's been riding so well the last few weeks. Windham, one of the guys that was kind of welcoming the rain. Ricky Carmichael just wants to be on top. He said, I just want to win. And for a guy who's used to doing that, this has got to be very frustrating because now James Stewart, perfectly healthy on board that Kawasaki, Cameron, you got to be kidding me. He has uncorked a 47 lap time. That is unbelievable.
Well, and to let you know also, Ricky Carmichael and Kevin Windham have dropped down into the 47s, and Windham's time faster than Ricky Carmichael, their best time. So we'll see how this shakes out. Kevin Windham, oh, look at this. Ricky Carmichael with some problems in the whoops. What did Ricky say to us earlier? He says, I haven't even had one of those sketchy moments. Will he have one here tonight? You see him getting a little bit loose. I think he just wants to push it farther forward. And right now, look at him looking back. Sees Kevin coming into the inside.
You don't think Kevin remembers a little incident we had earlier in the season where Ricky parked him right before the start-finish line to get a position?
I think he definitely remembers. I'm sure Ricky remembers as well. He'll be keeping an eye on Kevin Windham.
Kevin Windham, not a dirty rider. Don't want to imply that, but there you see they have to deal with the back marker, and as Carmichael gets the better of that, moves ahead as we drop back. There is Chad Reed, maybe one of the most amazing riders here. He is the smoothest rider in any conditions. He currently sits in 7th place, and Chad Reed has just been on fire as he has moved up. What, he was dead last to 8th place in 3 laps. So Chad Reed continues to motor. Cameron, if he gets on the podium, I got to give him a huge shout out because that would be an amazing, from dead last to podium in a 250 main. You got to be kidding me.
Boy, he's definitely got some big name characters he's got to get by. Look at this.
That's Ricky Carmichael now. He's got 2 lap riders in between him and Kevin Windham.
Yeah, he's getting a little bit of breathing room there.
Well, I tell you what, there are so many yellow flags out on the track right now. Riders just trying to deal with the ruts, coming together, losing their line. But James Stewart is having none of that. Ricky Carmichael trying to reel him in. But I tell you what, the lead for James Stewart has now gone up to almost 9 seconds. So it is Stewart and Carmichael 1 and 2. Windham about 50 yards behind Carmichael, and Chad Reed continues to work his way up. One more quick break. We're back for the conclusion of the 250 main. Welcome back to Quest Field in Seattle, Washington. It's the 250 main event. This is Chad Reed on a tear. His next marker will be Mike LaRocco.
Oh, and he goes to the inside, keeps it clean. You see Mike LaRocco taking a little longer on the high side once he sees that Chad is there. Clean racing, fast racing by Chad Reed, who now moves up into 4th place.
So it's Reed getting by LaRocco. Now the big problem is going to be catching up to the top 3, that being James Stewart, Ricky Carmichael, and Kevin Windham. They are quite a ways away, and Bubba is about 29 seconds ahead of where Chad is right now. Look at this.
Look, now he's getting past the lapper, but the next rider is his teammate, David Villeman, the number 12 machine, who is sitting in 4th place. So, I mean, Chad Reed coming all the way from the back, kicked off the track by James Stewart and Kevin Windham together, and there he goes.
Wow.
Right
so
on by.
Reed continues to move up. What a thing it would be if he gets up on the podium. Here it is one more time. There's Villeman, number 12 on the outside. Reed just takes the inside line, just flat out, Cameron, faster. Here's James Stewart, number 259. He is your leader, and he is way out in front. His best lap of 47.08. Last lap of 51. Now, I don't know if that's fatigue or the track, Cameron, breaking down, but
well, one
James
major
is charged the whole way.
One major factor you see right there, splitting between the lappers.
As we check in quickly with Jamie Little.
Guys, this track is eating up some of these riders. Ernesto Fonseca pulled out. He's rolling around the track right now. Kyle Lewis is out. Sebastian Tortelli is on the track trying to restart his bike with no luck. Isaiah Johnson is out. Tommy Hoffmaster's rolling around. Tough night for some riders, guys.
And no question about it. Despite the fact that it's not pouring down rain like we had at Anaheim 1, the track has just taken a beating. And when you get that much water here, it's almost impossible to keep the track running up like this. And Stewart continues to take chances, Cameron. I mean, this kid knows no back down. He is just going full tilt. And James Stewart is just moving his lead way out in front. Carmichael now is trying to reel him in, but Cameron, he is down a good 12 seconds.
Yeah, we're going to get it as he goes by the timing and scoring. As he gets past the finish line here, we'll give you the update exactly how far back he is. And you're very close, Todd, 11.34 seconds.
So Carmichael's in second. Windham now moving in. Now this is Kevin Windham. He is right behind Tyler Evans, who's a lap rider right now. Unfortunate for Tyler, but he's had a great weekend despite the tough conditions. Kevin Windham sits in third place, and his lap time has been very good. Heath Voss having his problems. Like Jamie said, this track is just eating a lot of guys up. There you see Kevin Windham, and look at this. Here comes Chad Reed. His last 3 laps have been his fastest. He has been consistently running in the 49s when our top 3 riders, Cameron, have been in the 50s.
51's actually their last lap, so they're slowing down a bit. Chad Reed is holding the pace, and he is the rider that has been hanging it out. We saw it last week in Pontiac. He was so fast and so aggressive. Things just worked out perfectly for him.
You know, you hate to say what if, but what if Chad does not go off the track in that first turn? I think it's him and Bubba and Ricky out in front, cranking out 47, 48s, and everyone else just chasing him. So it is Chad Reed now who has moved into 4th place. And remember, moments ago, he got past Mike LaRocco. Now look at the gap between Reed and LaRocco. And LaRocco's no slouch.
And LaRocco, you know what, I've been watching him around the track here today, and he just didn't look like he was really excited. I think he was kind of mentally prepared for a mud race. We've got a big rut race, and he was saying, you gotta be smart. A lot of riders have been taking chances, and that's what he said to what happened at Anaheim. He rode it smart, kept it consistent. He ended up getting a 2nd place. So I think maybe his game plan is where he's following right now. He's sticking with the game plan of playing it smart. The other guys are winging it completely, but they're holding it together.
Well, with just a few laps to go, it's interesting to look at the lap times. James has dropped down. His last lap time was a 52.4. Carmichael's was a 51.8. Wyndham's a 51. And then Chad Reed is a 49.3. So, Cameron, I think it's going to be a matter of attrition where Chad is just going to run out of laps. But can you imagine if this thing was a 23-lap race? I think Chad Reed might catch the top 2.
Can't be changing the laps of the race, Todd.
I know, but I'm just saying for Chad, after an unfortunate parking on that first corner, he has been unbelievable.
And Chad Reed is on the same straightaway on the long straights with Windham and Carmichael.
There's number 33, Jason Thomas. He is running our helmet cam, but it is Chad Reed really who's putting on the best show tonight. He is consistently running in sub-50s. There is 259, James Stewart out in front. This is getting interesting because Kevin Windham is closing in. He is closing in quickly on Ricky Carmichael. And Chad Reed is now on the same straightaway as Carmichael and Windham. So 2 and 3 are just ahead of Chad Reed, who is in dead last, and Wyndham's got a run on Carmichael. Gets around him, makes the pass, and makes it stick.
Let's see if Ricky tries to dive in here. Oh, and he gets held up a little bit, getting right on the back tire of Windham. Kevin Windham running a great race.
It is the final lap. The white flag is out. If Chad Reed has any more magic in that Yamaha, he's got to unleash it now. Ricky Carmichael seems to be struggling, and Kevin Windham has found another gear. So Carmichael sits in third in a very precarious situation because Chad Reed is only about 40 yards down. Carmichael's got to nurse this one home. James Stewart's pace has come down. Kevin Windham's in second, and here comes the Aussie, Chad Reed, closing in.
Well, Kevin Windham has definitely put time on Bubba, but it's not going to be enough.
James Stewart picks up the victory in Questfield in Seattle. Carmichael comes in. Reed, but it is Windham who gets second. Carmichael will get third, and Chad Reed will have to settle for fourth. But for my money, the most impressive ride of the night goes to number 22, Chad Reed.
And Bubba scoring his second win in his young 250 career.
Wow. Well, James Stewart was the subject of an article in Sports Illustrated this past week, and he has certainly backed that up. Forget about the SI jinx. Bubba has come to play in Seattle. 259 is your winner. He came out of the whole shot and just let the folks at Questfield know that he certainly meant business. Your winner, James Bubba Stewart. We come back, we'll talk to him.